Hello and welcome to San Diego Market Watch, where we bring you timely, accurate information about the real estate market in San Diego County. Today is December 29th, 2022. This is going to be the last San Diego Market Watch of 2022. So let's check out what's going on. All right, so we have our usual charts and graphs here on the screen for you. And, as I say every time, inventory in San Diego County remained very, very stable all summer long. Pretty much shot up from extreme lows down in the 12, 13, 1400 homes for sale up to the mid 4,000s, almost the mid 4,000s by June or July of this year, and then it just hung there for the longest time. And new listings were tracking very steadily for the longest time. Pending sales were up and down over the course of that time. And of course, as you recall, interest rates were spiking this whole time as well. Closed sales were humming along and jumped up and came down in November. So everything was moving along pretty normally in terms of the number of transactions until we get to the middle of November, when inventory began to plummet again and keeps going down and down and down to where we are almost off of the San Diego Market Watch chart here at 3,008 units on the market as we sit here today. And that is not as low a number of units as we had last year for homes for sale, but it's very, very low. And the number of new listings, like I said, was remaining fairly constant in the 500s all summer. And then we started to see less new listings as we entered November, and then less. And then Thanksgiving week, it really went down, jumped up a little bit after Thanksgiving, and now has just been down, 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 down to, I think, something like 135 new listings in the past week. And that is as low as I've ever seen it. For reference, last year, this same week, we had about 370 new listings. So the number of new listings is just low. And so with no new listings coming on the market and pending sales riding above new listings in terms of numbers, we are vacuuming up the number of homes for sale. In other words, the number of homes for sale is dropping because more are selling than there are being listed right now. So it will be interesting to see what happens when we get into the first few weeks of 2023. What I would expect to see happen is the number of new listings to jump back up, somewhere in this more normal range. However, we shall see. And then, when and if new listings jump back up, do pending sales come along with it, or do pending sales continue to sort of move on this overall declining trajectory that they have been on? Again, we had some bright spots where pending sales jumped up, and they're above new listings, but still pretty dismal and still off by as much. Well, I think it's not quite 50% from this time last year, but it's pretty bad in terms of the number of closed sales and the number of pending sales being off. I believe it's in the 40 to 45% range from this time last year. So what is all this doing, or why is all this happening? Well, again, we've been talking about interest rates all year long. Interest rates have been driving the market more or less. We had back here in March, interest rates averaging well below 4%, and even down into the 2s and 3s at the beginning of the year. So we've seen this steady climb in the average interest rate that really started to jump up in May and June. And then by October, we were all the way up here at over 7%. And then in the last week, we've had a little bit of an uptick from, I believe last week, the average was 6.25. Now here we are at 6.42, which is, more than double what it was back here in January. However, not as bad as being in the sevens. However, this number is still really ugly in terms of affordability for folks. And with the median price being in the 860 to 875 range, it's really not a sustainable situation. We cannot have interest rates hovering in the mid sixes or going up from here and really maintain a healthy real estate market with median prices at their current level. Really what's holding prices right now is this: no inventory, low inventory, hardly any new listings. So if you're a buyer really trying to get into something right now, because, believe it or not, some people buy, they really are determined to buy a home regardless of market conditions. They want to buy a home. And a lot of people say, well, that's dumb. I would never buy right now. I mean, why not? If you really want to get in, why not get in? I mean, you got to enter the market at some point. And anybody who sits around and tries to time the market, maybe you're going to get lucky, maybe you're going to score, or maybe you're not. The point is, real estate is not a short-term investment, and you do not marry your interest rate. You're really just dating your interest rate. So, you get into a home when you can get into a home, when you want to get into a home, and you get into the home you can afford. And then as the market grows and changes over the next 10 years, you're going to be money ahead. 10 years, you're going to be money ahead, no doubt, unless the United States economic system as we know it completely implodes. Real estate has been going up and up and up and up and up for decades. Yes, there are periods where it goes down a bit, but then it turns around and it comes back up. So there is absolutely no shame in buying right now. And I think part of the reason for the low inventory that we're having right now is sellers are staying put as much as they possibly can. They like their rate, they like their payment, they like their home. There's nothing else on the market to buy. So we really have sort of a stagnant situation in terms of sellers and new listings. However, we will see what the new year brings. And we will be back in the first week or so of January with the December wrap up for 2022 and the 2022 year in review segment that we'll do in the first or second week of January, depending on when the numbers are published. But we will be back with that, and we'll be around either, I'm not sure when the live is going to be this week, but watch for it. It'll either be Friday or it'll be Saturday, depending on when we get an opportunity to do it. Might be fun to do it on New Year's Eve, but we will see. Just watch for it. And as always, if you're enjoying the content, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And we will see you with more neighborhood real estate update, San Diego Market Watch, and all the rest of it in 2023. Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.